Hi guys, how you doing? This is Rich here on behalf of Rich TV Live, and I'm here with a very special guest. It's Jason Dussault. How you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
Very good. And we're here to talk about StillCanna Inc. So why don't we just get started? Why don't you tell us a little bit about StillCanna Inc?
StillCanna. Well, StillCanna has only been StillCanna really for the last 4 months, and what we are and what we're trying to do is become a leader in the bulk sale of CBD isolate in Europe and the world. Not only sale, but obviously manufacture. So we've got the hemp fields in Poland, and we'll have 2 extraction facilities online in Europe for the 4th quarter of this year.
And why the focus on the European markets?
Well, there's a number of reasons. One, it's very big. The last estimate for 2021, I believe, was 66 billion.
Wow.
It's also 28 separate countries that we can freely move our hemp and hemp-related products across borders. And I guess the third reason is that we're one of the leaders in the space because we were there before everybody started talking about CBD. CBD is quite new. A lot of people and a lot of companies are jumping into it headlong right now. But my farmers have been farming in Poland for the last 20 years.
Wow.
In fact, their parents were farming hemp even prior to that. So really comes down to experience. Also, CBD has been legally available on the shelves in Europe for the last 5 years. Whereas the US just came online now. Canada, you still really can't buy CBD related products, yet you can go get high and smoke a joint. So, it's Europe is a great spot because they're used to it, they know it, and they know how to grow it, and that was where our opportunity lay.
That's great. And can you elaborate on your partnership with Dragonfly Biosciences, LLC?
Yes. So Dragonfly is a leader in CBD products in Europe. They're on the shelves of Boots. They've just signed a deal with Harrods. They have an 85% footprint on the shelves in London.
Wow.
So there aren't, you can't walk very far in London without finding Dragonfly products. How the relationship started was that just over, I guess, almost a year ago, I had visited their fields in Bulgaria, which were 100% grown organically. I was very impressed with the team, and they needed help with the financing of their extraction facility in Romania. And so StillCanna stepped up, and we brought our technology and our team and our money to build up that extraction facility to extract their CBD for them. This plant, I was just there, it's incredible. It's built to GMP standards, and we should be processing their first batch of CBD out of Romania for the 4th quarter of this year.
Wow.
We'll have a film coming out in the next 10 days where I've done a walkthrough and a tour with the local mayor and showed him the facility, and we're very excited to get started.
Wow, seems like you guys are doing a lot of work. Now, are there any other future?
Oh, there's one more thing I should add.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
This is very, very important. So Dragonfly are not only our partners in the facility, they own 51%, we own 49%. But what's really great about this deal was that it gets us straight into revenue. So we've got a contract that could bring up to $40 million Canadian over the next 3 years of processing exclusively all of their CBD for their acreages in Bulgaria.
Wow, that's impressive.
I had to get that out there. Sorry.
No, it's good. That's good. We want to know everything. Get it all out there. Is there any other future partnerships that you're working on in the pipeline?
We have a number of different partnerships. We've brought on Warren Robinson onto our board, and it's his job to follow up on conversations that I have with a bunch of different companies and in M&A opportunities. We're in a number of different exploratory conversations. Nothing, of course, that's material or that we can announce, but we'll make sure when we do, we announce it. We have Mark Cremini, who is our head of sales, and he's currently negotiating a number of large isolate sales deals. Currently, we have our first deal is with Biosciences out of Los Angeles, and they're buying up to $6 million worth of isolate from us starting in the 4th quarter of this year from Poland.
Wow. You guys have a lot of business going on.
We do.
Now, before I get into the next question, one of the things that we talked about is that you guys have the potential to be one of the only companies in the sector to be revenue positive.
Yeah, I mean, that was always my goal. Again, StillCanna is only 4 months old. It really a year, the original vehicle that I came onto as CEO. The goal was to try to find a company in this space. And the second goal was to get to revenue as soon as possible and to get to cash flow positive revenue as soon as possible. I really want to kind of break those records. And I know it's really important to investors, especially now they're seeing a lot of companies in the cannabis space. I want to make sure that, everyone knows we're not in the cannabis space, we're only in CBD, but, we sort of get painted with that brush. And so a lot of the companies that come out with these tremendous forecasts and unfortunately haven't met those. And so what I want to do is be one of the companies in that grouping that hits revenue in record time. And I believe if we can hit our revenue targets in the fourth quarter of this year, we will break records.
Wow, that's incredible. And I'm sure you guys will.
It's looking really good. I mean, if I look at it from a risk perspective, say, okay, where can these guys go wrong? So if we take it from the step of farming, well, they have farming experts that have been farming this land in Poland for 20 years, and their family have been farming for 20 years prior to that, and they've never, ever lost a crop.
Wow. That's impressive.
And I was just there, and they've had record temperatures this year. Obviously, climate change has played a huge part in that, or the reason for it. And they've been able to increase their yield. So when I was there 2 weeks ago, the plants were up to my knees, and they're going to be harvesting now 2.5 weeks from today. So we have the farming down. I feel very comfortable there. You take it to the next step where you have extraction, and my team has been extracting in Canada now for the last 5 years, and they've run over 1,000 batches. And now we've built that same system on a much larger scale in Europe, and we're about to turn on the lights in the fourth quarter. So we've now got the sales contract, so we have all the pieces in place to definitely have revenues in the fourth quarter.
That is incredible. Now, earlier last month, you announced an LOI with Sequoia Cannabis in anticipation of a bumper crop yield in Poland this year. We'd love to know more about your plans for this anticipated yield.
Okay, so I have to be careful about talking exactly about how much yield and this sort of thing and forecasting numbers until we start to generate revenues. But what I can tell you is, again, because the temperatures have been a lot warmer in Europe and especially in Poland, our yield is going to be larger this year than we expected. So we're going to have extra biomass available. Great. And again, speaking to my earlier point of wanting to hit revenues as soon as possible and be cash flow positive, we were reached out to by another processor, and they were interested in buying some of our biomass to process. And so we had extra biomass that I know I wasn't going to be able to produce this year. So we're going to sell the extra biomass. So it was a little bit of icing on the cake this year.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Now, you guys also did a $24 million raise.
Yes.
What expansion plans do you have in the horizon with that $24 million that you raised in financing?
Well, the $24 million, and it was great because we got some excellent institutional investors in that round, which I'm very excited about, and I'm working with, strategically for different objectives and potentials in the future. But with this $24 million, what it allowed us to do was to pick up the Olimax acquisition, to buy their seeds, which they're one of only 4 companies in the EU that have their own registered high concentration CBD seed, which is very, very important.
Yes.
And they had over 40 tons of seeds ready for us to plant this year to go 1,500 hectares in Poland, which will make us the largest hemp farmers in all of Poland this year. Wow. So that money allowed us to buy that company, to buy the seeds, to buy the planting equipment, now to buy the harvesting equipment, and to build our second extraction facility in Poland. So we've just named them in a press release we put out today. So the JV with Dragonfly in Romania, which is really just a tolling station for us, is named the Origin. And the second facility, which we're building right now in Poland, is called the Nexus. And the third will be a larger facility that takes both the technology and what we've learned in Romania and in Poland to build an even larger extraction facility that will be over twice the output of both of the first 2 facilities, called the Horizon. So the money's allowed us to do all of that. So it's a busy year.
Yeah, you guys seem like you're crazy busy.
Yeah.
Now, You touched on the press release. Maybe now's a good time to talk about it.
Sure.
Do you want to maybe go over the press release that you announced today?
Yeah, I mean, the press release, when I was over in Poland a couple of weeks ago, I went to go meet with the farmers and to tour our different plots just to see how the plants were doing. And I brought a film crew with me to film and to interview these ladies. And it's really a generational story, what we have in Poland. So you can imagine, the two ladies of Olimax who we acquired. As I said earlier, they've been farming and harvesting hemp and making products in the CBD space CBD products for 5 years, and they're farming for 20 years. They have Christina has a son, and her son is Matthias. And so Matthias grew up with his grandfather in the fields, and now with his mother in the fields. And now he's a StillCanna employee. And
Great.
He's been brought on to manage all the harvesting and the build out of both the Nexus facility and the Horizon facility in Poland. And it's really a great story. And you'll see, if you see the YouTube video we produced, you'll be able to see his story and his mother's story. And he's worked for a very large harvesting company that is focused on how to properly harvest CBD. What a lot of people, it's like any new industry, you learn as you make mistakes.
Yes.
Olimax has made these mistakes, and they've learned how to harvest, and they've also learned how to dry the material, because CBD is quite delicate, and depending on how you harvest it and how you dry it and how you store it, you're going to have CBD degradation. And what Matthias has done for Olimax and what he's going to do now for StillCanna is to manage that process. And so we're very lucky to have him on board. He sends me pictures daily. Currently, the Nexus facility, the floor has been laid, and they're putting up the structure now. And so we're hoping to get the facility up and running a little bit sooner than the fourth quarter, but we're thinking, I'm pushing them hard.